Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Bi-Weekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
Langdon Plummer, Chairman of the Planning Board, and I'd like to call this meeting to order and introduce the board that's with us this evening. And to my left is
You want me? Aaron Brown?
Yes,
So
you.
Nancy Belanger, Select Board Representative.
Thank you. And to my right?
John Gruder?
Jen Martell.
Dean Hubbard. Sam McLeod.
John is our clerk,
Oh, sorry.
and those two fine gentlemen are to alternates. And if you can count up to 7, they're going to be acting tonight. So we have a full board. So, all right. We first have some minutes of November 20th to take a look at, please. And I'd ask if there's any corrections, John, or Gwen? Where's Gwen tonight?
Yeah, wait, that's Gwen's job. No, I
John, it's all
haven't.
up to you. No pressure.
No,
Jen may have
I don't think
something.
I had.
I've got nothing.
I didn't
Sorry,
think I
Lang.
did.
Well, I'm looking for a motion anyway.
Okay, hold on, though. I did, I just can't seem to find it. I'm sorry.
Okay, Nancy.
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. I do, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good.
Line 69, Acting Chair Brown noted that the board, is it defeated or denied? Is that supposed to be denied? Does it matter?
I don't know what I said.
Okay, then we'll leave it as it.
Yeah, it's the same.
And then,
We did
line
it.
74, Mr. Gruder noted that people aren't getting rid of cars, they're getting more cars, not cards.
Okay.
Well, they may want to play cards.
They
Give 'em
will.
hearts every once in a while.
The casinos everywhere.
Yeah.
And on line 83,
That's a
it
good
has,
use for that property.
it has that Miss Belanger noted that she works out of town and understands what's missing is that the lack of public transportation and some public transportation, and some of us do need cars to get to work. So, and that's all I have.
Did you get your motion?
I need a motion.
Okay, I'll
So-
make a motion then to approve the minutes of November 20th, 2025,
As amended?
I'll second.
as amended.
As amended, okay? Second, please?
I'll second.
Okay,
There you
Sam,
go.
good job. We can do this with a voice vote for those people. Those of us that are present, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'll abstain because I wasn't here. And motion carries.
Oh, okay, so it's
All right.
right there.
Tonight's exciting agenda is again to look at the public hearing for the proposed amendments for the 2026 town meeting warrant. Copies of the full text proposed amendments are available in the planning office and posted on the town website. And we have them listed here, so how would we just take them one at a time and,
Yep.
okay?
Yeah,
That's how we did it before. That's how we did it last.
Okay, amend Article 2.
Which you were present for.
Yeah, that's right. Would you like to take this? meeting
No,
for a while?
not really. Just want to give you a hard time.
That's good, I know that. By deleting 2.2.3, the accessory dwelling unit, and replacing it with a new definition in compliance with the recent state legislation. Was there any discussion about that or the wording on that?
no, that's,
The last hearing, we had left it as is,
As is, yeah, okay.
the board had, and I don't think the public had any comment on that.
No.
I think
I
you
was
usually
reading-
allow the public to make
Legislative.
comment.
That's true,
on each
in
one, right?
public, yeah, sure, we are open to the public, so if you'd like to make comments,
You guys don't have this in front of you, right?
Not the entire document, just, I have your multi-page.
tonight's,
There you go.
Yeah,
tonight's,
that's all you need.
that's what we
That's all
have.
you need.
yeah, that's what we have, yep.
You don't have the zoning ordinance in front of you.
No, I
The
will,
language.
Yeah,
I will read it someday.
Okay.
it's exciting. It's really just getting more in compliance is what that
Yeah,
was.
so,
It's
yeah,
to comply with recent law changes,
The state.
the state. Yes, thank
yep.
you, Aaron. Appreciate that.
The language was in the packet, so it's further down after the minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
The
I
The
actual
whole,
language.
the whole,
I didn't
Yeah.
hold that thing tonight with me.
just,
And
Yes,
it's
it
up on
is.
the screen if
Oh, yes, it
anyone
is.
can read.
oh, it is, there we go. Can we enlarge that a little?
You can
bit, or
read
is
that.
just me that can't? Okay.
yeah, we can get that right up there. That's helpful.
Yeah, okay. So seeing no other questions or
And
comments?
I would say just on accessory dwelling units, it's becoming a more popular choice for adding units.
Yes,
You know, certainly seeing that in the seacoast a lot, where citizens are taking advantage of the state-pushed changes in all the towns.
well, it's
And
another way for affordable
multi-generational
housing.
living again,
Yes,
right?
yep,
So-
multi-generation, yep.
But don't tell your kids you're building a house in their backyard.
Although I was speaking to a friend the other day, he was thinking about one, and I said, boy, they're so expensive, I'm not sure I'm gonna do one.
Right,
Yeah.
I know, that's true.
It was something though, this, okay, so we're 2.2.3.
Yeah,
But over, the language is on another page.
Yep.
Of the dwelling unit and whatnot, and so that's the state's language too? So what we're saying is.
That is,
it's
yes.
So that's what we're adopting, is what you see in.
yes,
Attached unit means a unit that is within a physically connected to the principal dwelling unit, or completely contained within the pre-existing detached structure. Attached unit means a unit that is neither within or physically connected to the principal dwelling unit.
They changed the definition because the big change in the law that they made this past year was to prohibit towns from prohibiting detached units. In the past, you could say, you still have to have one, but you didn't have to allow detached. Now the law says you still only have to have one, but it can be either attached or detached. So they changed their definition to specifically define what is an attached and what is a detached. So everyone has to change their definition because no one had a definition that matches this.
right.
Oh, okay.
You okay then with that?
Yeah.
Hearing no comments, I will, the final action will be tonight, because this is the second hearing,
Right.
will be probably to adopt or to forward these to the ballot in March. Okay, let's go to number 2 then, which is amending Article 5, General Regulations, Sections 5.6.6, Off-Street Parking Schedule, parentheses for residential dwelling units, to be in compliance with recent state legislation by requiring only one parking space per single-family and multi-family dwelling units.
It's right up there on the screen too. And that's, last hearing, we just said,
It just been
kind of a
changed.
no-brainer right there,
Yep,
right?
changing 2 to 1.
Yeah. Which we spoke about at the hearing a bit, because it was a lot what young Master Hodgson was discussing.
So where they only have to provide one space,
Instead of
and they
2.
park the second one out on the street.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Well, go talk to your legislator.
Yep.
I want to
You
talk.
want everybody to have like 3 cars or something.
No, I want the legislators to do something about the ending our state inspection.
yeah, right. That was a midnight deal.
I don't understand that one at all.
No.
Now they're getting sued by the company that provided all the
Inspections?
Yeah.
Of the
inspections and the
equipment?
equipment.
Oh, yeah, it's an industry.
So both my cars get inspected in November or early December.
Yeah, sure.
And my Highlander I bought in Florida, it has tinted windows. They say, I can't have tinted windows. I said, you've inspected it like 7 years in a row. Now I can't have tinted windows. I said, well, I'm not buying new windows, so. It's really bizarre.
Just wait it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta,
They're just dirty.
Back to the topic here.
sorry.
Any comments on that? Again, the public
No, that's
session
what
is
it
open.
is, what
so
it is.
Feel free to speak. Okay, let's go on to number 3. Check. Amendment Article 4, District Regulations 4.2, Schedule 1. Permitted uses by changing animal boarding/kennels from a permitted use in District C2, C3, and CT1 to a use allowed by special exception.
So this is one that I had a lot to say on
Okay, well, why don't you take it?
in the last hearing, and I had followed up with code enforcement and had email exchange with Doug, got a positive email exchange, which was educational for me.
Good.
And then I also came and caught Barb at the office. Doug was on vacation, and got the special permit requirements, and then, or special exception permit requirements, and I asked her to forward that to everybody, which you all should have gotten. I think yesterday, or the day before, maybe.
Day before, yeah.
And that put my mind at ease in terms of taking rights away from somebody, where this is making it more difficult to have a kennel in these zones versus just being an allowed use, which I don't generally do easily myself. However, I think it's a pretty reasonable threshold to still get the use, and just allows code enforcement to put some requirements and have some enforcement more enforcement rights on a facility owner running a kennel, which the town has had difficulty with some existing kennels already. So I think that's the genesis of the request by staff. And I'm in favor of it now, because I got more educated.
What's required for me to get a special exception?
List on you? I didn't bring it.
Oh,
Anybody bring
right
it?
here, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
On the back
yeah.
of that.
Oh, good. Look at that.
2.2.71. Let's see. That it is, the use is so designed, located, and proposed to be operated, the public health, safety, welfare, and convenience will be protected.
Yeah,
Okay. And that should be period anyway, right?
yeah.
C, that the proposed use will be compatible with the zone district and adjoining post-1972 development where it is to be located. Adjoining principal uses in the existence prior to 72 shall be referred to as grandfathered uses that are not permitted uses in 4.2 Schedule I. Permitted use should not be considered in determining the compatibility of the applicant's proposed use. So basically, that it will comply, but it's allowed as a special exception, so. D, that adequate landscaping and screening are provided as required herein. So, right now, they wouldn't have to necessarily do that, because it's an allowed use. So with an allowed use, you just have to generally conform to safety standards and buffer zones.
Yeah.
That's E, that adequate off-street parking and loading is provided, and ingress and egress is so designed as to cause minimum interference with traffic on abutting streets. F, that the use conforms with all applicable regulations governing the district where located, except as may otherwise be determined for large-scale developments. G, as a condition of special exception approval, the applicant may be required to obtain town planner review and/or planning board approval of the site plan. Additionally, the Board of Adjustment may require the applicant to obtain planning board approval of the site plan prior to rendering a decision on an application for special exception. H, that the use shall not adversely affect abutting or nearby property values. So that's the one where I think pretty likely that at any kind of hearing, if an applicant were to have to come in front of us, that most of the public and abutters would probably be, in my opinion, against it, unless they're real dog lovers.
Yep.
That's my own opinion. So I think you just have to take that with a grain of salt. And I would say, being in the real estate industry, if it's a properly run facility in the zones that it is allowed by special exception, I don't think it would adversely affect values. So if it's run properly. Now, if you've got a poorly run facility, I think it could have a negative impact. And that's what I think putting the special exception onus on the applicant helps that to not happen.
Yeah.
Helps give the town more strength in
Yep.
managing the use.
Yep, that makes sense, it really does, yeah.
And that's basically what it talks about.
Thank you.
That's my opinion. But I was the one that talked, I think, the most about that one
You did.
particularly. So I wanted to follow up with you guys.
Any other comments,
No.
concerns, thoughts?
No, I appreciate
Marks?
Eric's explanation of each.
Yeah.
I do, because it's, I often want, I mean, how can we know if it's already been approved, right?
Right.
After the fact doesn't help the abutters, but,
Doesn't.
I remember
So-
when we approved the barking dog, the worst thing to name your place because people don't want barking dogs. But it's well-run and
It is.
works well, yeah.
And, you know, there is a need for that.
Yes, there is.
We do need these type of facilities
Yeah,
in the community.
okay.
okay. Let's go to the next one.
So do you want to, do we do anything on that?
Oh, well,
We haven't voted on anything.
we haven't voted on any of it.
Okay, all right.
We could do that as
You
we
can do
go.
it at the end if you want.
Well, let's do it
Yeah,
at
let's
the end,
do it
yeah.
at
Or if we find one we're gonna vote against, we'll vote on that.
There you go.
Article 9, Section 9.3 Shoreland Protection Ordinance by adding a new paragraph entitled, quote, F period, permitted uses, unquote, and numbering accordingly to ensure that the shoreland ordinance provides the same level of clarity regarding what is allowed as the wetlands ordinance.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
may I ask you to ignore that language that you received and go to the, I think you all received this short
Oh, yeah.
language. When Kristen and I talked about this, what was posted was what she first gave me, and then in between the posting and tonight, she came to me and said, oh, I gave you the wrong language, use this one instead. So for the next posting, it would be this, and I think, do you all have?
I don't.
That
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
short,
Well, somehow I didn't get that, so may I?
Should that be in our packet?
Thank you.
It was the last
have it
page
right
of,
there.
That's it, yeah.
what, yeah, it was on the last page of this one, yeah,
So
yeah.
you have,
Okay.
good. So this
I don't, I have 2 bicycles,
Oh, dear.
3
is
of
what,
bicycles.
Amended
what
section
Kristen is recommending.
9.3.4.1 of the Shoreline Protection Ordinance by adding the following additional permitted use. 1.7 point, projects that revegetate or revitalize in some way an already disturbed buffer zone as reviewed and approved by the planning department.
Seems reasonable.
This is number 3.
Article 9.
Yeah, they're out of order.
So that's pretty simple.
Yep,
We wouldn't care that.
makes sense.
Yep.
Okay,
And it is supposed to be reviewed. Who's the planning department?
Who's the planning department?
Yeah.
Planner and staff? I think code enforcement falls under that,
Yes.
too.
code enforcement, yeah.
We could say planning and building, and that would cover
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah,
that
no,
would-
there is a
That
planning.
would be good,
ability.
yeah,
Yeah, it's.
and building,
no.
yep.
Makes sense, really, for that to be just a permitted use.
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense, just to let that.
Yeah, but you
We
don't
wanna
want,
encourage
you
it.
don't want to, you want to plant the right thing. you know.
True. Needs to be reviewed. Yeah.
Okay. Comments, and we'll move along that one as, consider that one being what it is, adding the word and building department, so
Yep.
approved by the planning and building department. Okay. Now, Article 9, Section 9.3, Shoreline Protection Ordinance, by adding the new paragraph entitled "After permitted," we just did
We
that.
just did that.
You're on number 5.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, sorry about the repeat.
You're on number 5.
Number 5, general regulations, by adding a new section entitled 5.6.8 bicycle parking, which will require new construction projects to provide a safe, comfortable space for people to store and park their bicycles.
No.
What's
Amendments necessary in order to comply with recent requirements of the United States Post, no.
I mean, I think it's a good idea, but I find it interesting that we're cutting the parking spaces, and you can park on the road, but we need bike spaces.
How do we?
Well, one's by the state and one's by a citizen.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Does
No,
that
I
include
think- I think-
tricycle bicycles?
And you can go worry about your tinted windows on your own time, John.
The, no, I mean, I support anything with bicycles, but as long as it's reasonable.
I hear somebody sputtering.
No, I'm just talking to myself. I'm just saying, okay. You confused me with mixing bicycles and the mail kiosk. We need to stick to one.
So I think I'm totally in support of this generally. We were given 2 draft language options. So I think tonight we probably need to discuss the options and then decide if,
Which is,
we probably need to have a public hearing on it next time, right? Isn't that what we figured out, like, because we don't have any language yet that we want to put to the public for discussion.
Right, and we were looking at the time frame and whether or not we want to have a longer conversation or put something forward
Right.
for March. That's how I remember our last conversation.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I thought that, we got this language, the draft language that we could discuss tonight.
yeah, of course.
if
Can I ask
everyone's
about
sort
the
of-
bike racks before we do? Because I did get, we were talking about bike racks, and I said I'd ask. We used to have a bike rack out front, and we have that watering trough that was donated. So we do have 3 year-round bike racks. One's in front of Whirly Gigs. The one that's out front has been moved to the townhouse commons, and there's one at the library. So, just as, so you know, we do have some downtown. Whether it's sufficient or not, it can be discussed, but that's what we have. Okay, go Jen.
May I just add a clarifier first, in case I hadn't made it clear? The brief language that's up on the screen and in your packet, that's language that I put together after reviewing some materials, including what Mr. Hodson had sent us initially. So I put that together really just sort of as an alternative for the light touch, since right now you have nothing in your regulations for this. So this was just for your consideration as an alternative. In addition, you have the revised materials that Mr. Hodson has prepared for you, the option 1 and option 2, which are, well, actually, there are 3, so some revised from what he had provided to you at your last meeting. So you have choices.
We have a lot of choices, yeah.
Mind if I speak first?
please,
Okay.
please use the microphone.
Anyone's.
We have visitors that are not visitors, it's going to be people at home who just die for this show, and they want to throw popcorn at somebody. So please step up.
Okay, so I do just want to clarify which, like, sort of regulation sets that I've set aside here. So the first one, where it's like 5 point something, that was originally prepared for the zoning ordinance. After talking with Ms. Ogilvy, she proposed adding it into the site plan regulations instead. So that's where I have the two options, entitled 9.13.9 bicycle parking. And basically, they're pretty much the same thing, except one language, the option 2 language, sets aside actual bicycle parking required number of spaces. And that's just a second option. I know the board had said the last time, that they wanted something, that they could work around and, you know, not something as concrete as what I proposed before. So that's more the option 1, that first set of regulations, whereas option 2 is if you want to take the next step and add requirements for the amount of bicycle parking spaces you have to provide, instead of just requiring either long-term or short-term bicycle parking, which I've outlined in this set of amendments here.
Can I ask Mr. Hodgson a question? Because I know you did a lot of research to come up with these, which I really appreciate. I was just wondering, like, when you were doing research, if you got a general sense, like, how many towns in New Hampshire have bike parking requirements, and sort of how detailed they are? Like, I didn't do as much research as I kind of wanted to before coming here, but I looked at like Portsmouth's, and it seemed pretty like simple, like sort of more similar to what Ms. Ogilvy wrote. So I was just curious, like I guess I'm just trying to say, like, how does this compare, like,
Sure.
to what other towns are doing?
I actually couldn't find any other towns in New Hampshire other than Portsmouth. I'm sure there are more,
Okay.
and maybe they're the cities that are doing it, but Portsmouth was the only one that I looked at
Okay.
or could find, you know, quickly. And, you know, essentially it's fairly simple. It's like just a couple of lines, but they do require a certain number of spaces per, like, either for how many units you're providing, you have to provide a certain number of bicycle spaces, kind of like you do for cars. And they do the same with commercial uses and educational uses as well. So Portsmouth is like, you provide a concrete number of spaces like you would for vehicle parking.
How does the spaces that Portsmouth requires compare to what you're proposing here in your option 2?
Yeah, so it's fairly similar. I actually it's sort of a combination of Portsmouth, and then Portland, Oregon had a pretty comprehensive plan. It's a different circumstance because they're a very large city, but, you know, I tried to take some of what they had wrote and some of what Portsmouth had wrote and kind of combine the two, and sort of merge them together. So I liked what Portland had, which was, for each of the uses, you have to provide 2 or. So, like, in the case of restaurants here, it's 2 or 1 space for every 10 seats, whichever's larger. So if you have a small restaurant, a couple of seats, you know, you only have to provide 2 parking spaces for a bike. And then after that, it's 1 space for every 10 seats. Offices, same thing, you know, you either provide 2, or if you have a larger office, then you have to provide more. Education, I went more on the Portland side as opposed to the Portsmouth side, because I just felt Portsmouth was 1 space for every 4 students, which I felt like was a lot. Like, if you have a school of, like, say, 100 kids, it's what? I don't know, 20-something? Like, yeah, 25. Sorry, I'm stressed and I don't know, I can't do math in front of me. But yeah, so, it just seems like a lot to me. And Portland had something more of a per classroom type requirements. So I went with a generic 3 spaces per classroom. I felt like that was a decent number. You have 20, 25 kids. Not everyone's gonna be biking to school, but you might have a few in every class that choose to bike, say, to Main Street or Lincoln Street School. Yeah.
How about your exceptions? How'd you come up with that?
These were sort of from Portsmouth. Portsmouth had a list of exceptions. I took most of them, and then I sort of brought it, well, I used the language of uses in the Exeter zoning code. Portsmouth and Exeter define their uses differently, so
Yeah.
I tried my best to
Blend it.
sort of assimilate both and
Sure.
yeah. I'd originally had more, but after talking with my counterpart Silas, who was here last week, he seemed to think that a couple of uses would be preferable to have bike racks, such as I think I had gas station and convenience store on here before, and he's, a lot of PEA kids bike to gas stations to get an energy drink or a snack or something, so I took that one off.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
How do you envision downtown, our downtown, and having restaurants put bike racks out? Where would they put
Yeah,
them?
so that's kind of where I lean towards the one that doesn't require spaces. So that if you have, say, a change of use in downtown, they could say, we have bike racks that are provided already by the town.
By the town, thank you. That's where I was
So,
hoping you were going.
we have facilities there already.
Yeah, which is why I wanted to update, so we all knew where our bike racks are.
Yes.
And if we even need to think about trying to advocate for some more, but, okay, good, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
I have something. to
please,
add.
introduce yourself.
This, like many changes that would improve bicycle, pedestrian, and other amenities in town, will have more impact if it also includes substantial remodeling, not just new construction. We have a lot of wonderful old building stock, and we could probably, each of us, name several places that in the last 10 years have completely changed their use, and a lot of dollars were put into those, to the interiors anyway. So if we just rely on new construction, it's a brand-new building with new foundations, right? I would love to see the ordinance, or whatever the title of the rule is, to also include substantial remodeling, and that would be something like 50% of the assessed value of the building. Does that make sense? Do I need to spell that out?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll just use funny numbers. Say a building is worth, its assessed value is $100,000. I'm using funny numbers, because they're all worth a lot more than that. And the remodeling that they propose, for which they do need a permit, multiple permits, let's say it's 50K or 60. Well, that would invoke the application of this rule. It's not new construction, but it's substantial remodeling. And I put this in because we have a lot of old building stock that's being put to reuse, and many people are investing in modifying and upgrading the insides. And so I think if we mean business about some of these new requirements, it should apply to substantial remodeling as well as new construction. So,
But substantial remodeling doesn't shrink the size of the building normally.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite,
Substantial remodeling isn't going to create any more space outside for a bike rack, probably. You know, it's going to be the inside.
Right, my point is,
So
yes.
you don't have any more room to put it.
I follow that.
Okay.
We need to make room for these things,
Just-
right?
Well, if you can.
Yeah, if you can, you know. Yeah, somebody's going to have to address the nuts and bolts of it. But my
They're going to have
point
to do
is,
the best they can, and they might have to get a variance.
right,
Yeah, they're- can I
my
just do
point is
It would be a
just,
waiver.
A waiver,
just
excuse me,
that
waiver.
the new rule
Yeah.
ought to include substantial remodeling, and they can throw their waivers or their, exceptions around according to some of the details you line out, but it
Yeah.
should also include substantial remodeling, not just new construction. That's my opinion and experience.
I think that's a great input. I think it doesn't just, the proposal by Mr. Hodgson doesn't just relate to new construction, but it does not say substantial remodeling in it. It does talk about additions, change of use, but does not say substantial remodeling, which I think is a good addition to the language. It's
Thank you.
your proposal. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I had kind of funneled that under additions to existing buildings, but I guess, like, the wordage,
It may not be an addition.
Better.
It could be a
Yeah.
remodel.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's,
is
I
this
think
the
that's
right
probably best.
legal document, though, for that? Like, a substantial remodel doesn't come to the planning board.
Yeah,
So so
Building,
that would be putting it into the building code,
yes,
which we don't have jurisdiction over.
no.
So
Yeah.
we only have jurisdiction over the projects that come in front of us by definition,
Yeah,
which might include a substantial remodel sometimes. It just depends. Like that church that is being remodeled, that came to us
Yep.
because it was,
Change of
condominiums,
use.
change of use, yeah. And there's parking. So I think it's not necessarily the cost of it, it's more like just whether or not it comes to the planning board, and then
what would invoke it? Because if it's just an addition or just a remodel, it could be a small thing. And you wouldn't necessarily want to impose it on someone for a small remodel. But for a big major use, that's going to change the patronage and the traffic patterns considerably. So, yeah, I didn't think of that. Land use is one thing and building code is another, but they marry up someplace.
Well,
Oh, Carol's got her hand up.
Yeah,
Well, the site plan review regulations are triggered when, not just for new development, but also development change, expansion of use, or increase in the use or the intensity. So there are many ways that something could come to the planning board, not remodeling. That would not fall under site plan review. That would really be overreach. And it would be, I think, difficult for the building inspector to manage something like this through his process. It's a completely different thing. But there are many other instances when something happens to a building or a piece of property that would bring it to the planning board.
right. But new construction all by itself doesn't automatically bring it to the planning
Well,
board.
if it's non-residential, it does.
Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
okay. See if you can figure that out. I would love that to happen.
I was just thinking, when they remodeled the Trends store, and they also did something around the back. And, you probably couldn't do anything in front of that, but they might have an opportunity, because they were doing something with, making an apartment upstairs
Yeah.
or something.
Right, and there's nothing to say that.
So there's going to be, every case is going to be different.
Right, that applicants could come to you and say, I can't do it, there's no place, but I'm going to collaborate with my neighbor and do that. So
Yeah.
that might be an exception you would honor. Anyway, back to my point, if you can figure out how to, like the Ioka's another one, bicycles, parking.
Ioka came in front of us. So
Pardon me?
Ioka was approved by the planning board, so that would have that would have
come under
applied
this.
here under just the site plan review. If this was in the site plan review, that would have been.
Okay, would the site plan review have to say substantial construction or remodeling, or just?
I think that one was because of because it's multifamily.
Change it.
Change of
Change
use.
use.
The use.
Yeah. Anyway, some way to trigger this.
Yeah, no, I think most of the things you're thinking of would be triggered naturally. It's just, we're not calling it remodeling because we don't define that.
Now,
But-
what are the rules about putting a bike rack on the sidewalks? Our sidewalks aren't that wide. Is it, it's gotta be
I don't
some
think we
kind of.
can we? We can't obstruct our sidewalks.
That's the other problem, yeah.
I don't think.
Well, the sidewalk is
Do
the
the
public
bump out.
right-of-way,
Right.
so you can't put a
Citizens
private,
do that.
yeah, you can't put a private
That's what I'm
bike
saying,
rack.
but that's what we're being asked to do.
No, I don't think so.
Where's Ioka gonna ever put a bike?
Well, I think that's where they would
The waiver
get a
would come in.
waiver, like we were just talking
Yeah.
about,
Or
like
collaborate,
Yeah.
take over a parking space across the street.
That's public.
No.
public,
No.
yeah. You can't do that.
Those are public parking spots, you can't.
You can't rent them out to the merchants.
But I think, the problem is not that we don't have enough parking downtown. I think the problem is that we have
I think
units being
downtown-
built a mile outside of downtown.
Downtown's gonna be hard. It's gonna
Yeah.
be outside of town.
Exactly.
Unless the town itself provides more bicycle
Yay.
facilities.
Unless the town takes a couple parking spots and makes those bike,
Well, so we have the three, and public parks or the one in front of Whirligig is where the bump out happens, right? So, I mean, we still have maybe some other areas, and we can have that conversation.
Yeah, the town should,
To see where else, because we'd have to pay for them, of course, so, budget thing. But, yeah, to see if there's any other places, because there's nothing down at Stewart Park. That wasn't on my list, so down near Swayze. I'm sure
Yeah,
we
Swayze
can
would be
come
a
up.
good place.
Right, not in the parkway itself, they'd have to approve that, right? But Stewart Park is right back there. There might be some other options that, remember the park benches that Dave Sharples advocated for, the benches? We started with a few to see if they were being used, and then it was like baby steps, right? We were investing, we put them in strategic places. He moved them if he thought they were gonna get more use. We bought a few more. We can have that same
That's
approach
cool.
with bike racks.
and there's probably no reason we can't put bike parking in the parking lot here as
I
well.
don't know where we would put it.
Well,
It's pretty tight
you
back
would lose
there,
it,
but.
you would lose the parking space.
You got a corner there, we can't use parks.
Yeah, this
Whole
probably,
corner there. Usually, it's good snow storage.
Do it, yeah.
It's snow storage, yeah.
well, in the wintertime, if the bikes probably need to be, the bike racks probably need to be portable, and we'll just move them out of the way.
There you go.
Right.
Well, thank you for addressing this,
Yeah.
because vehicular use has all kinds of problems, and whatever we can do to
Yeah.
support alternatives will make this a nicer town. So, thanks.
no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My counterpart who couldn't be here from last time, Silas, he's sick. Can I read his testimony that he wrote up for me to bring here?
I'm saying, of course, it's the chair that has to say that, sorry.
How many,
Sorry,
how
Mr.
many
Chair.
pages?
It's just one page.
What's Silas's last name? I missed it last meeting.
Richards.
Richards, thank you.
Yes.
It's in the meeting minutes, that's right, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. So he lives on Lincoln Street, for the record. Okay. I regret that I cannot be there to deliver my remarks in person. However, I'm appreciative of this board's continued work towards making Exeter a more bicycle and pedestrian-friendly town. The proposed amendment as written champions bicycle infrastructure, but is vague from the original spirit of the original regulatory amendment. I think he's talking about number 7 here.
Yeah,
This amendment as written does not incorporate long-term sheltered bicycle parking, which is critical for extending the lifespan and delaying costly maintenance for folks looking to practically use a bicycle for transportation. Cycling for some members and visitors to our community are the primary means of transportation access, and rely upon these tools to live and access appointments, meetings, and purchase essentials like groceries. For others in the community, bicycles represent alternate means to reach destinations or utilize many of the natural resources in and around Exeter while reducing the wear and tear on local roads. Bicycle trips do not contribute to the congestion Exeter faces and do not contribute to the parking challenges in many areas of town as opposed to a traditional trip in a private vehicle. The bike/ped plan's community feedback indicated that more bicycle parking and storage options would incentivize users to ride a bicycle and contribute to the endpoints of a successfully developed network. These improvements dovetail with the extraordinary work both the town's government, and the residents have put forward as part of the Complete Streets Design Guidelines. Inclusion of specific requirements for long-term sheltered storage, as well as the addition of more bicycle facilities in town, supports the town's master plan of promoting mode shifts from private vehicles, and I strongly urge this board to consider moving forward with this requirement to provide more sheltered bicycle parking requirements.
Thank you, Dwayne. Yep. Question for the vice chair. You're working with all streets and all something like. Are bicycles part of that conversation?
They are. Yeah, actually Silas came to our meeting
Oh, good.
last
Yeah.
week
It's a big part of it.
as well. And was a good positive contributor to the hearing. It is something we're working hard on. I think you're gonna see proposal spearheaded by Rockingham Planning in early January. For that, we've been going at it for a couple of years now, so it's getting there. It's really close.
Yeah.
And I would say, my feeling on this is that I think it's a great idea. I think the devil's definitely in the details, and I think it's hard to get really specific on the requirements in the first blush of this, with this amount of
Yeah.
time. Us not having much time to really do our own research, this is my opinion. Because I think some things could happen to this proposal that would make it potentially more detailed, but having it different in the different zones would make a lot of sense to me. Having the requirement less intense in the immediate downtown Exeter, where I think property owners have very limited land to accommodate bikes in reality, because they can't even accommodate anything, parking or anything, and that's generally lifted, and the town takes that onus on, which is what we see. So then adding a requirement that they can't, I don't like putting requirements on applicants that I think they're gonna end up coming to us for a waiver later on. I like quite the opposite. I like to have people able to see what they need to do what they wanna do, and they don't come to us at our hearings and look for 5 waivers. My favorite applications have no waivers.
Make it I forget the word I want to use, but yeah, just make it doable
Right,
without having to ask,
for waivers.
And we could always add to it later on.
Exactly. So I think, and that's where I think if we had more time with the proposed ordinance, we could get more detailed on how much to require if it was flexible in the different zones. Like, I think, in my way of thinking, Portsmouth Ave is probably a lot more ripe for redevelopment than downtown Exeter is. And there's a lot more land there and open space.
A lot more to work with.
Downtown is pretty tight.
Yep.
I mean, one whole side has got water on one side and a road right at it on the other. And the citizens, the private property owners, don't have a lot of space outside of the actual structure to work with. Some of them have nothing. It's zero lot line stuff and barely can get pedestrians in and out of their spaces. So I just, my way of thinking is, it's an unrealistic requirement in the immediate downtown, and a very realistic requirement in a lot of areas of town. How to manage that requirement is the devil in the detail part that I think needs more work.
We need to get this to Scott as well.
Huh?
We need to get Scott a copy of this.
Right, absolutely.
Who's Scott?
He's the Rockingham
Thank you.
planning
Rockingham, so-
gentleman that we're working with.
Yes, and then once that's adopted too, it would help, once we have the adoption. And Portsmouth Ave is on the agenda, if you will, for
Right.
redoing in another year or two, so.
Exactly. The timing's
Are we
really good.
putting the cart before the horse? But right now, I'm asking the question, and if not, it's good to start working through the details
Yeah, these things take a long time.
and then merging them when the time comes.
Somehow, yeah.
And that's where I think, for me, the proposed amendment number 7 that Carol has worked on seems flexible and almost more like a suggestion versus a requirement, like some of our MUND is. And I think it makes it more feasible for an applicant to comply with. And then what happens is they come in front of this board, or else we're not dealing with this anyway, right? So they come in front of our board, they have an application, they're doing something that triggers site plan review. They're in front of us, this is on the books. What are they doing to deal with bicycles? We're having that discussion in a very flexible format, like we do right now with landscaping, right? I mean, we don't require, oh, if you have a 5,000 square foot building, you need to throw in 10 trees. There's nothing like that. It's a
Yeah.
professional plan generally that we're looking for, right?
Yes, yes.
Somewhat.
Yep.
Or at least they come to you and ask you. Sorry, Jen, I had to throw it.
Absolutely love that. That's great.
So, to me, using this in that same vein is probably a good first step. And if we want it to be more stringent, which I actually do like, when they actually know what we're gonna require, I prefer that. I just think that's unrealistic, given the town-wide change, different uses that this could come in front of. So, that's where I kind of stand on it. And I think that does comply with the intent of the proposal, and I think it doesn't close any doors. It certainly just opens the door and start, and we relook at these every year.
It's a
So,
starting
it's
point.
very typical for us to
It's a really
keep
good starting
changing it.
point,
Yes.
and to stay on it, so that we'll collaborate over the next year or so, because I like your proposal. But I think with the pedestrian, the study, and that's got to come through, and things like that, we might want to look at districts and, so.
I do want to address Silas's letter too, because I do think he's right, that the change doesn't say anything about enclosed bike
No.
structures, so it doesn't take much to satisfy that, just by adding that in, such as bike racks, enclosed structures,
How about,
shared paths, something like that, just add it. Add it as one of the
Bike rack.
things, with a couple commas, and it throws it in there too, which gets that in front of us, that when we have an applicant sitting here, we can read right from our ordinance,
Right.
this is what we're trying to do here, what are you doing to satisfy that?
Such as bike
Well, I
rack,
can't do anything, it's
preferably
no
with-
land, okay,
right.
we get it,
Yeah.
You don't need a waiver, because it's just a discussion.
Yes.
But if it's one that we think, hey, you've got tons of opportunity here, this is something we're trying to do, we want that, we can do that. Does that make sense to you guys and gals?
I
Sure
think
does
that
to
makes
me.
sense.
So would you say enclosed bike racks?
I don't know how to word that.
Yeah.
Because
Is that the way to word it?
Well, the
Carol,
definitions of
enclosed?
like long-term and short-term bicycle
Yeah.
parking, I think are really helpful, like the
Yeah.
long-term, like,
That is helpful.
so I would like to kind of get the
Get that
sense
in
that
there.
like, it's like, if you're gonna be parking your bike overnight or for days and days because you live there, you're gonna want to park it in a place where it's not gonna get wet. Or be, open to vandals or theft or whatever.
So,
I don't know, do you have a
Could be for
short way of saying that, besides just long-term bicycle parking?
Mr. Chair, I would be very happy with the language that Carol's proposed already.
As a start?
That language makes us bike-centric. It brings bicycles into the discussion, and we can keep good notes and a year from now know what we need to change, but at least it gets us started on being a more bike-centric board. And I think that's, with the time restraints and all, I think that's a pretty good way to go.
Yeah, because I'd kind of like to consider expanding on the conversation with, instead of enclosed bike racks, to have bike storage within the building. As I had said last time.
Well, that's an
I live
option.
as an option, but
Yeah.
as a suggestion,
Yeah,
however
that's
you want to put
easier.
it. Right, that if there's a laundry room
Yeah.
in the basement, and, you have a section or an area for bike storage, something like that.
Yeah, and it might give them the option of doing that and not having to build some kind
On
of,
the outside if they don't have the
Barn.
space. So it's just, I don't know, something I'd like to
But
consider.
an outdoor space is a lot cheaper than an indoor, providing
But I looked
a
at
larger
buildings,
laundry room.
That
Yeah.
actually had that inside, they did it. So
basement
it's
exists.
possible.
Right, no, I know it's
Yeah.
possible, but it's not like necessarily, because like you can't just say, oh, just put it in the laundry room, because then people are going to start stacking their bikes up in front of the dryers. And so like you need a
No,
space
they
in
had
the
it-
laundry.
They had an
separate
area
laundry room.
Yeah.
for bikes
Yes.
specifically.
Right,
Right, it was designed that way.
right. So I guess what I'm saying is,
30
this,
years ago.
at like $500 a square foot or whatever it is to build a building
I
these
think they did it
days.
because the basement was the basement.
basement.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We have the
I don't think they
garage
made a bigger
underneath.
basement just for bikes. I think
Yeah.
they decided they were going to have this basement, and they put the laundry in one area and bike storage on the other side.
Right.
Or if you're building a
It's just a thought.
underneath garage.
Well, yeah, we have that, Dean and I have that in our buildings,
Right.
that we have each have a parking spot, and there's a corner
Yeah.
where there's a heater and stuff like that.
Yeah, if you have a
There's room
parking,
for 3 or
yeah.
4 bikes on each end of the garage, and at our age group, there's not that many bikes, so
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
some are
I
dusty.
mean, that'd be.
Not even
all kinds of
three-wheelers?
options, right?
No,
Can you add something in there?
Is that where you park the electric?
What are you thinking? Do you have anything wordsmithed at all yet?
Well, not,
If you just take long-term bicycle parking within an enclosure,
I would say, I mean.
I think that works for me.
As you said before, you want the flexibility.
Yeah.
So that whatever the circumstances are, you can work with that. But we
Right.
can add to the list, short and long-term parking, internal bike storage.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's it. I don't think you need to make it crazy.
Yeah.
I think
And that gives you.
it just
many
throws it out there
options.
into the conversation
Yes.
and into the mindset. And when we're having conversations with applicants at this point, we'd be able to read them the ordinance if we have to, right?
Right.
So I think that would be very helpful to add that. And I think that would be a step in, the direction that we're trying to head with this.
I think bike shelter or secure bike shelter might be
Yeah, that's nice.
a good
That's
word.
good.
Because I feel like short and long-term, unless you're defining it, it's like,
Right.
Yeah.
doesn't really mean
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it would
It's
be
a-
hard for someone to look at that doesn't really understand
And secure
these
could be-
requirements.
Right.
So like, you'd kind of, I feel like the planning board would be explaining to the applicant a lot of times, this is what we want, as opposed to them coming
Yeah.
in, giving you guys like an option to start with.
Yeah, the best scenario is when they can sit down with the planning department or code enforcement and go through the ordinance, work collaboratively, and come to us after that, and they've already know what to expect, right? There's not a lot of gotchas and all that stuff. That's what we
Absolutely.
try to do, so. So I don't know, your process is you have to reword this a little bit, and then we go
Not
further?
much.
Or- Okay.
Yeah, and this will all be posted, I don't know what the newspaper is doing, but we have time to make these changes and get this posted for January 8th.
Right.
Yeah, Friday, the 9th is the last day, or it's the petition, never mind, sorry. Go ahead. Reading out loud. So you guys, one of you or both of you are going to give this to the Rec and Planning Commission? You're going to give them all 3 versions, or Ben, which?
Probably just the last two.
Okay,
Like the
the
one,
ones
the
you gave,
9
the new
point,
ones.
the 9.1.
Yep, the site plan
3.9,
review.
Just because that's
Okay.
what would be going in the site plan requirements, as opposed to the zoning ordinance.
I need specifics, so when I do my select board report at our next meeting, I know what I'm talking about.
So,
So-
have you guys sent that to him already?
I don't believe he's seen it now.
Okay. Because I think, didn't Silas send an email out or something?
I-
I saw something,
I
that he
can't-
didn't know how to get a hold of us or something.
Who?
So he sent it over to the town.
Who said that?
Ben's partner in
Oh,
crime.
okay, yeah.
Partner in
He didn't know how
bicycles,
to
come
get-
on. Be kind.
His bicycle buddy, what do you want me to
So who would
do?
he,
Bicycle built for two.
who was he sending it to at the town manager's office?
I think he sent it to Carol. I saw something.
I don't-
I'll have to
is
look.
your-
I'll check my emails. I
Is your
don't-
email public? Yeah, I don't think she's on the website. Are
Oh,
you?
I don't.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's, yeah. I
Right,
think he was
because
trying to
somebody else
find-
reached
yeah.
out to me for your email address, because it's not, I think Dave's is still there, but no one's put Carol's
I'll
there as
check.
an interim planner. So, just find out who he sent it to, so we can make sure it gets sent to the right,
Yes,
Aaron, do you have a
will do.
clean copy you could scan to
because I think Bob McAvoy,
Scott?
Barb's email is on
I can,
the planning part of the website. That
Yeah.
You can send it to her, and then
should
she'll,
be able to do that.
Well,
And we have a meeting
or
next
I
week,
will give you,
I
or
think.
she can give you her
I may
email.
not be able to make that meeting.
Sorry, lots
Works
of
for
balls
me.
in the air right now.
I'm trying to see if I have that email. I don't know that it's that.
so what I'm hearing is we're fairly comfortable with this
Yeah.
statement, with a couple of additions to it that we'll have to look at our next meeting. That doesn't, so we'll put that one aside. We won't take action on that tonight.
Right.
That makes sense? Okay. All right.
1/8/26.
Do you have more to go?
Yeah, we have a few,
Oh, what do we got here?
Landscaping.
yeah.
What about the mail kiosk going to the post office? Where is that here?
Yep, that's number 5, right? That was when like Carol gave us a heads up about, from the post office, USPS regulations.
Yeah, that's, again, I've read the discussion, but I understand, I mean, that's what's happening anyway.
Number 5, the United States
The
Postal
kiosk,
Service.
yeah.
Yes, this is apparently, I don't know how new this requirement is, but we have been informed that they won't be delivering to individual mailboxes in subdivisions. So they're requiring now that these kiosks of some, I mean, there are specific standards, which I've referenced here.
Yeah.
Well, the USPS regulations, I mean, there's a whole thing on that I didn't think we needed to put in here.
Does that include manufactured home?
I believe it would. What I have been able to find out is anything over, well, a subdivision of 7 or more homes, they're going to require this.
Wow.
But, and a shelter is required, even though all those,
Existing or
even though all
future?
those mailboxes are designed to be outside?
These would be outside with, I'm not quite sure what the actual design has to be.
Is this new?
It's relatively new, but apparently not brand new. The information that I have found is a couple of years old.
Because I did that for some,
But I think it's new here in Exeter. We've just been informed by the post office, like, a month ago, that this is what's happening.
I did it for a condo association and,
Aaron, you had a
I
question?
have a question on that,
Londonderry.
yeah. I'm just wondering.
Put them outside, and they,
Where you guys have where you are now?
well, we have in our lobby, as we're inside.
So are they going to stop delivering to neighborhoods
I don't believe so.
No.
No, this is going forward.
for new
And-
construction?
So it's
New.
grandfathered in, it's anything new.
They're gonna leave a
Yes.
box at number 1.
That's what I was going to say. They're going to drop them in. Hey, have a good time with that.
Go see your neighbors.
Yeah.
Handle it.
They
That
used
would
to,
be
they
fun.
used to give you
Get
boxes,
to know your neighbors.
and they stopped that. When they started this in other areas, you get box with a pedestal to mount it on, no shelter needed.
Oh, really?
but then,
They didn't want to pay for that, or whatever.
they did pay for that.
They
Not
probably
just they
didn't
paid for
wanna
the
continue.
boxes, but like I was saying, I just replaced those boxes with new ones that we had to buy.
Yeah.
And just new cement slabs down, bolted them to the ground, and
Right,
that was probably 5 years ago now, but they look great.
yeah.
Yeah, you've seen the ones that are outside.
They're secure too, which is
Oh, yeah,
nice, yeah. So this is just, again, a
It's really
compliance
too
thing, really,
debatable,
right?
You know?
Yeah,
This is just compliance.
Yeah.
compliance.
Okay, 7, the last one is about landscaping being,
Needing Jen's,
amend subdivision and site plan review regulations by adding new paragraph in section 7.2, professional standards as follows. Section 7.2.3, landscape plans as required shall be prepared and stamped by a registered professional landscaper architect licensed in the state of New Hampshire.
And then you added the
Is that one
waiver.
that's come from the
Are you
board or
happy
from
with
the?
the waiver?
Yes.
Is that one
Yeah.
that's come from the board or from our planning office?
Actually, it was Jen, I believe, that
Ah, okay.
brought that up a few meetings back.
Yep.
And provided the draft language to me, and then I think at your last meeting, you discussed the waiver.
Right.
So that's been added now to this.
Which is the same language that we have for, I think, a survey. I think is where we got that from. I think it's a survey or a site plan or something like that,
Yeah.
Right.
right? That's where we got the waiver language from.
Yep.
Just-
And I sent that to Carol too, because it wasn't clear at our last meeting. But I just basically took it, I said, just match what was there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good to have in there. I think that's been an ongoing challenge, which, as we seem to recycle the professionals that are in front of us with the applicants, they seem to take advantage of our board a little bit in that regard. And they seem to be coming in with less and less designed ahead of time and looking for, what will we accept?
Yeah.
What are we looking for? Can we design it?
It has
Seriously,
gotten-
it's at that
It keeps
point.
getting worse.
It is getting worse.
It was like
It's
a
definitely
little
getting
bit,
worse.
and
We
now
need
it's
several
like-
good examples. Here they are.
Yeah, right, exactly.
A, B, or C.
maybe we say you don't come in with the right thing, we will design it for you.
No, I don't
Get two
think so.
tries.
With a fee.
With a fee.
So we're comfortable with that then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Then we'll be looking for a motion to forward these to the,
Yep, I think that's everything.
is there a motion there?
Except for 7, right? We're going to continue conversation on number.
With the exception of number 7, yep. Are we forwarding these to the town ballot, or what should we talk about? We approve these to be,
Does it go to the select board?
Let's see, the ones that go to ballot, you have, actually, there are only, oops, wrong page, because some of these are subdivision site plan. So actually, the only ones that go to ballot were the ADU and the parking. So you don't need to have another hearing on those unless you think, you want to. So you could vote those to ballot tonight.
Yeah.
All of the others are subdivision and site plan.
Oh.
And of course, you're under no time crunch for
okay.
that because those aren't going to ballot.
This
Just wanna-
is 1 and 2?
Yeah,
Well,
because,
isn't it the animal?
I'm sorry, and also number 3, but you did,
Yeah.
but you approved that as well.
We did. And then what's the animal one?
And that,
The
oh, I'm
kennel?
sorry.
The kennel, thank you.
And the kennel one, so 4,
Okay.
but you approved that one as well. So
Yes, that's
your
number 4.
Your 4 that would be going to the ballot, there are no changes proposed to those 4.
Well, 1 through 6 are fine, right? Right?
yes.
Yeah,
1 through 6 are fine,
right.
so we can just say we're good with all those.
We'll go with all.
And number 7, we're still
We're going to have
ironing out
another hearing.
some language.
Yeah.
So you could choose to not have a second hearing for those others.
Right.
since-
Right.
1 through 6.
Yeah.
I think this is the second hearing for those.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
the second
Oh,
heering.
Because you discussed it at the last
the
meeting
previous
where I
hearing.
wasn't here.
Yeah, we did.
right.
The only thing that changed is we changed the language to the landscape ordinance by adding that sentence.
Right.
And that's the only thing that changed. Everything else stayed the same. We didn't change any language.
Great, well, that makes life a little easier.
Yeah, so do you want a motion to,
Yes, please.
well, what do you want to say?
Don't start that. Show
Am I
me-
supposed to know
Show
that?
me your certification stamp. Where is it?
I make a motion that the planning board has concluded its business with proposed amendments 1 through 6, and will forward it to the town as necessary, or we're done working on it. Good as is, as presented today. 1 through 6.
Well, that's an interesting way you ended that motion.
What?
It just-
Done.
I second.
Okay. Good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
Here we go.
I think we had plenty of discussion. Do you have any more discussion? No? Okay. Then, let's do a voice vote. So those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The ayes have it. Unanimous?
I have another motion. I make a motion that we continue to work on the proposed amendment number 7 to section 8.7, vehicular and pedestrian traffic, specifically section 8.7.9, as brought up by citizen Benjamin Hodgson, and as discussed at the last hearing and this hearing, and we will continue this discussion as directed during the discussion tonight into the next meeting.
Second.
Do we need to make that meeting specific? When's our next meeting? January, what,
January 8th.
8th?
Yeah, that's plenty.
At
I'll
7
amend it
p.m.
to the January 8th meeting.
Yeah,
And I'll amend my second.
okay. All right, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Carries unanimous vote. Thank you very much for joining us again tonight. It's wonderful to have public.
It is, really.
The others bailed out on you. What's going on?
Great.
It's getting thinner.
Just me now.
I think Silas knows how to get a hold of the guy from the Rockingham County Commission, Scott.
Yeah,
I think he's in communication with him.
I think he is.
So, I would say have him make sure that he forwards this to him,
Okay.
because there's a meeting of that committee next week, and I'm certain he's aware of that. And he's probably attending. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make that meeting. I know, John, you're gonna be there, yeah? Next week,
Oh, yeah.
MPOC meeting? Yeah, and I think Marty is expected to be there.
Yeah.
So it would be good if that is brought out. I mean, it's not critical, it's not,
Yeah.
but it's pretty informative for you guys to see what's going on.
And we should have that information added to our,
Yeah,
what we've done so far.
right.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be there. I probably won't. be
Right,
there.
the time of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough time. All right. You gonna do
Okay. That's master plan discussion, land use review, field modifications.
We have nothing.
Too cold to be out there. Letters of credit or reductions or anything? No?
Nothing.
Well, before we adjourn, I just would like to take a minute to thank the volunteers that have done such a wonderful job, including the fire department and public works, in decorating the town this December.
Nice.
It really is very nicely done. And there's a lot of hours put into that effort, you know, it's just like the parade, it's just, we wouldn't know really what it takes to get that parade on.
And we don't really see it, right? Because they do it usually really
Right.
early Sunday morning, and you just, all of a sudden, it's magically appeared.
Right.
So, yes.
So, that being said, That's just my
Happy
personal opinion,
holidays.
not a board opinion, but I'm sure they agree with me.
No, I agree with
It's my
you.
board.
100%.
It's your word.
Somebody like to make a motion to,
I don't think we have another meeting, do we?
no, not,
No.
oh, Merry Christmas.
I was gonna say,
Merry
I mean,
Christmas and Happy New Year.
where's the Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
You the Grinch
Happy
this
New
year
Year.
a little bit?
Have a cool Yule. We got the cool in place already.
That's right.
Yeah, and if you're traveling, I hope that you have a safe trip.
Yep.
That's the end of my comments. Anybody else want to pitch in
No.
something there?
I was gonna say the Christmas tree festival was great. Some of those trees are pretty impressive. I don't know if you all got a chance to go, but it's really nice. It's fun.
That is, yeah,
And they had the high school, I don't know, if it was the choir or what, but they were doing carols and stuff too, which is pretty,
Yeah.
we went pretty early.
Yeah,
It was still
because we can get up there now, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
can
it's
use the
nice.
block, the balcony
Really
now.
gets you kinda in the mood.
Yeah, it's always nice to see.
Pretty impressive donations too from the community.
Yes.
It was,
those trees,
Yeah,
always
some real
donated by
value.
Dan Jackson, Ice
At
Hardware,
RJ, right?
for years.
Yeah.
Talked to him the other day, had no problem, he says, I enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
And
no,
he truly
that-
does.
and then some of the values of a lot of the
my
people
gosh.
donating were
Yes.
giving gift certificates and stuff like that, and some of them were valued at $1,500 plus in terms of the value of the donation. what
Yeah,
people
well,
were
yes.
bidding on.
Great
It's pretty
community
impressive. I was
thing.
like, that's
It
nice.
really is, every year.
Yeah.
A lot of work goes
They
into it.
raise a lot of money. It's a
They do
great,
raise a
it's a
lot.
great event,
do,
yeah.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah.
I'll plug donations are still open.
There you go.
Well, that's part of Exeter that we enjoy.
Yeah.
you know?
Part of our community.
yeah.
Part of what makes it the way it is.
Carol, did you get a chance to see the trees?
I did not, unfortunately.
darn.
I know, I had another, I was in meetings all day long here,
Well,
So-
look at the paper someplace, or somebody's got half that picture, yeah.
but out of my
Sounds
window,
good.
I can at least see the front of the town hall. It's beautiful. I took a picture of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Time.
Now is everybody, if nobody wants to adjourn, I'll just
I'll
adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn. How's
Thank you.
that?
We're
We'll be
adjourned.
adjourned.
Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV.